Some of my stops got hit and my count is up. Let's take a look at the portfolio and see where it stands. Hey guys, it's Legend. I wanted to do an update on the YouTube stock tracker sheet. I haven't done one in probably a couple weeks, so this will be where it left off and where I'm at today. I did add a couple, but we did get knocked out of a few within profit. And I've actually been able to set some stops. So let's just go ahead and check it out. So let's start off with the top up here with Amazon. I had 9 shares at $199 each, and I had a stop price at $225.79. That one did stop me out, but we did get stopped out in profit, and I got stopped out at $225.78 with my purchase price of $199. That gave me a profit of $240.92 for that one. And we'll look on the chart here. You can see for Amazon, that was the white line is my purchase, and the purple is where I got stopped out. So it looks like that December the 18th when we had that drop on that Wednesday. That's when the market dropped out. We had a lot of red on that day. It did kick me out. It went across that purple line, which then sold me out. And that's what the stop is for, is to keep you from being able to keep riding it all the way down. It looks like it did recover some, but it has started tailing back off. If this RSI2 here, if it gets below that 10, I'll be purchasing it again and play it again. So the second one here, we got ABBV. That's ABBV. I've got 20 shares at $175.09. I've got a stop at $175.70. The current price being $178.01. And if we look at the Webull chart on this one, you'll see for ABBV here, let me zoom in so we can see the chart a little bit better. Now, my stop and my buy are pretty close, but at the time you can see it was going up and up and up here. So I went ahead and set that stop right there at that MA5, right there at that point. So that is, as you can see up in the left-hand corner, MA5 being 175.70, and that's what I've got my stop set at. And had this candle been up here, that last candle, had it been up there, I would have moved my stop to the next point, which would have been at 176.94. But because it did come back down and crossed over that MA5, I am putting this one here on hold. So I did not raise it. I kept it at the 175.70 because I do not want to get stopped out necessarily. I'd like for it to keep riding up. But if it does come on down, it will stop me out, hopefully in profit there. At my purchase price of $175.09 and my stop at $175.70, that will keep me in profit as long as it does not do a hard fall and then shoot right on past it. But if it comes down, it triggers it, it will kick me out, and then I will look to buy back in once that RSI2 here, which is that yellow line, once it gets down below that 10, then I'll be looking to purchase it again. I'm hoping that this here turns around and keeps going up so that I can move this purple line right on up that green line. The green line is the moving average. That's the 5-day moving average. AFL, I've got 23 shares. My calculated price is $104.82. This one here, I am down about 1%. So let's check out the chart and see what that one looks like. So right now, I do not have a stop for AFL. The white line is my purchase price of that $104.82. And as you can see, the MA5 here is coming up, and so is the price. Now, what I need for it to do, of course, is to go above my cost. Once it gets above my cost and this MA5 can get above my cost, then I can set my stop. But until then, if it drops down below the 10 on the RSI, then I'll purchase some more shares of AFL. But currently, It is above it, so I'm not purchasing as it is rising. So once it keeps going, and if it keeps on going and gets back up, hopefully, and fills this point here, if it can get back up to the 114, that'd be amazing. I have my shares at 104. I would like to make $10 move on that one. But for now, this one's a hold. PRU. So on PRU, I have 29 shares at 121.23. I am down about 1% on that one as well. Let's check out the Webull chart. PRU here looks a lot like the AFL. My buy price is this white line. I do not have a stop. The price itself is coming up. It is back above this MA200, which is a good sign. The MA5 is rising. So again, if I can get this chart and these candles to move back up to where it was previously, that would be a nice move. But once it gets up above my buy, then that MA5, I will start riding that MA5 and setting my stop along that line. It is not below the 10, so I'm not purchasing, but it is starting to come down a little bit. We had a red candle the other day. So if it comes on back down a little bit to test that MA200, then I might get another buy point. But until then, it's a hold for me in hopes that this one here will continue to go on up. Visa. I had 2 shares at 309 per share. I had a stop set at 312.69. It did trigger that stop on that same Wednesday, December the 18th. I imagine if you had stop set it on December the 18th, I imagine some of yours got hit as well because of the big drop that day. But that one did drop. It did kick me out. There was not much slippage there. I had my stop set at 312.69. It sold at 312.62. So that only got me $7.21, but I only had 2 shares. It's still a $3 move, but only 2 shares. So that gave me $7.21. So we'll look at the chart again just to get a better feel of what happened there. So again, as you can see on that Wednesday, you'll see a lot of big long red candles on that day. If you had stop set, they probably got hit. Now, had I not had a stop set or saw that it was dropping and turned it off, I could have probably saved it and as it went on back up, but you got to stick with your strategies because who knew that this was going to turn around and come back up? It could have fell down and kept on going down. And at that point, you would wish you kept your stop on. So you stick with your plan, even if it does kick you out and you may not want to have got kicked out. But like I said, I have my stop set right here at this purple line. It did kick me out. The white line is my purchase price, so the difference is what I gained. I did not get back into this one because RSI2 did not drop below the 10 on the RSI2. So for now, I am out of Visa. If it comes back down and goes below that 10, then maybe I'll be able to get back in again. PGR. I've got 25 shares of PGR at 246.63. I'm down about 2% on this one. Here we are on PGR, and as you can see, the MACD is turning up. It's losing a little bit of steam on the downside, so the price is starting to come up. The white line is my purchase price, and the green line would be my sellout point, but I need that to be above my price. So right now, PGR is a hold and wait. SCHD. I've got 144 shares at $28.11 average, and I'm down about 2.25%. Let's look at Webull. So on SCHD, again, my white line is my purchase price. The price is coming up. I do not have a stop. And for this one, it is a hold and wait. It did drop below the 10 here on the RSI2, as you can see at the bottom. So I was purchasing, and that's how I got up to about 144 shares because I was purchasing throughout all of these points. And of course, then when it popped up, then I'm hold at that point, and I'm not buying unless that price would happen to go back below my lowest purchase previously. That's kind of how I'm playing a little bit on these swing plays. TSM, I had 2 shares at 192. I had a previous stop at 196. Again, December the 18th. Kicked me out. Was not too happy about December the 18th. But again, it's just part of the game. So that did kick me out at 195.98. So I made $7.93. Again, I only had 2 shares. So $7.93 for that one. And if you look on average, if you look at the percent of those low dollar amounts, I mean, that's 2% that I earned in 8 days. And the other one was $7 at 1% in 13 days. So, you know, overall, if you take it and look at the bigger picture, not a bad gain for that. So let's look at TSM. On TSM, my purchase price was right here at this white line, 192. It kicked me out at 196.11. And if we zoom in a little bit here, we can see here on the 18th right here, that big red candle came down, triggered me, and then it came down a couple more days before it popped back up. Looks like it is starting to come back down a little bit. The RSI2 here is coming close and getting lower. It's about a 29 right now on the RSI2. If it gets down below that 10, maybe I can get back into TSM. But for now, I am out of TSM in profit. NVDA. So NVDA, I have 8 shares at 129.12. Current price is 137.09. So I'm up 6% in this one. And I have my stop set at 132.87. So let's check the chart and see what it looks like. So we got NVIDIA here, and the white line is my purchase, and looks like I got a really good purchase point. Looks like I got lucky and hit almost the bottom of that dip. It has gone up, and when it did, I took and I'm riding that green line, which is that 5-day moving average. I had it setting here, right there. At first, it was 131.34, and it did move on up again, so I moved up to 132.87. And had this red candle not been here, and we would have had another green candle here, I would have moved it once again. I would have moved it to 134.84. But the reason I do not want to do that is because I do not necessarily want to get kicked out of NVIDIA. I would have moved it up to the 134.84 had that red candle not been there. Because that red candle coming down would get close, if not break that line. At 134.84, that red candle did get as low as 134.71. So yes, that actually would have kicked me out at 134.84. Not saying that that would be a bad thing, but again, I'm trying to give it a little extra room to breathe. Staying back here at the 132.87 might give me that room, but who knows, if it comes on down again, it could kick me out at the 132.87. You kind of got to make a decision on your own whenever you're doing these of how you want to play it. Moving it up would not be the wrong thing to do, but again, I was trying to give it a little extra room, especially because of this red candle. So by staying back here, I'm hoping that this one here settles out and then starts going back up, so that I can start moving this back up on the green line. VOO. Now, if you can see, I've got 2 VOOs here. That's because this one here, I was in and then got kicked out at a stop. And because I got kicked at a stop, it was dropping, so I was able to buy back in. You'll see here that I bought back in below where I got kicked out to purchase another share. So anyway, so the VOO, this one here, I had 1 share at 540 average price. I had a stop at 547.29. It did fall, and it did shoot past my stop. So there was some slippage here. It fell, and if it's fallen fast, it could go right past your stop and sell at some point below your stop. And in this case, this is a perfect example to where I had a 547.29 stop, and it kicked me out and sold my shares at 546.61. So I ended up losing about 60 cents or so more there because of the slippage. And like I said, if that price is dropping fast, then it can shoot right past your stop. So if this one here, I came out with a gain of $6.58 off of just one share, which is very nice. And that got me 1.2% on my capital in just 8 days. So 1% on my money in 8 days, that's really good. And before we go to the chart, we'll just go ahead and look at this next one here, where I got back in. See, I got kicked out here at December 27th, and I was back in it on December 27th that afternoon or afterwards at some point. As it was dropping, I did purchase. I got one share at 546. So right now the current price is 547.08. So I'm slightly up. So I did catch it when it was down, but let's see if I caught it at the bottom or did it fall further. And I think it did fall a little further on that one, but let's check. So on the 27th here, we've got this one, and the low, 543.20 is how far down it did fall. So that would have been nice to grab it down there, but again, you never know where that bottom's going to be. So when it did sell out of mine at my stop, then as it went on down a little bit, I went ahead and purchased back in, because at that point it was below where I actually sold my shares at. So I got back in hoping that it would continue to go down and I can purchase even at a lower price and average those out. But by the time it closed that day, it closed at the 547.08. So it did get as low as 543.20, but it ended up closing at 547.08. So at the end of the day, when I looked at it, it was already back up to 547.08. So I did not purchase necessarily another share. I will see if Monday will bring a better buy point. And if it does drop on down on Monday, then hopefully I can get a lower buy and average those two out. So that's all the ones I have there on my sheet. So with all of my gains previously and with these new gains here of my sales, I am at a gain of $1,577.56. Not too bad. That previous I had $826.27, and that was December the 7th. And this one is going to be today's date being December 28th, and I now am at the $1,577.56. And that is over the period of 82 days. I've started this on October the 7th. So just in the gains themselves, for the amount of money that I have allotted, I've earned 6.3% on that money. And then if I annualize that, that's about a 27% annualized. So not too shabby for just playing around here. In the evening, since I'm on Webull, they do have evening trades available and night trades. So I'm able to do my trades, set my stops, buy my shares and everything else like that after hours. And that's how I'm able to actually do a lot of this, is I'm actually buying into these after hours once I get off my 9 to 5. So I think I've covered a lot here, and I've got, like I said, nice gain here. I'm super excited about that. 1.5 thousand is pretty good money for about 3 months. worth of trading. And I will be looking probably to see if I can't add some more stocks to this list, as since I've actually got stopped out of a few of them. But I was hoping that Visa and a few other ones were going to be coming down so that I can buy back in those. I didn't want to use up all of my powder on new ones if Visa was going to come back down, because I'd like to get back into that one and ride that one on back up, right along with Amazon. Both of those are bangers, and I like those. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can get updates on the new videos that come out. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. Until next time, legend out.